We are talking with Ken Hodgen, Network and Telecommunications Manager at Walla Walla Community College. Ken, thanks so much for your time today and meeting with us. Cloud Connections and Walla Walla Community College have been successful partners for a little over a year now. We just had a few questions about the sales, design, post-sales process, and wanted to get our clients' take on how that's been with you guys. So, to kick things up, Ken, how did you first come into contact with Cloud Connections and our sales rep, Aaron?
So we were looking at some AV solutions. I had been for a while, looked at a lot of different companies, happened across their video conference gear back then. And I just wanted to do a comparison of some Polycom stuff and some Yealink stuff and some Neat bars, which is what we were looking at the time. I responded, I put some chat on there. And the next thing I know, I've got a demo with Brian Treats. And Brian actually had 3 different rooms already set up. And we did each one of those products. And really, I settled on the Polycom, which is what I figured. But yeah, it was just great that he had those 3 things already set up and he went to each different room. And so I remembered that. So down the line provided the opportunity that we want to talk about now.
Exciting. It's funny how that can kind of worm into a different avenue for it all started.
I was very impressed with how that was and how soon they got back to me and how soon he had that demo set up.
Tell us a little bit about how the sales process has been with Aaron and your working relationship now.
Oh, Aaron's been great. He's on top of it, top to bottom. If I need anything, he'll go the extra mile. I don't want to say that he'll completely bend over backwards, but he does. He's been able to beg, borrow, steal to get us gear on time and at a good price and things that will impress my bosses, which makes me look good. So often I tell him he's my hero. Makes me look like a hero anyway.
That's awesome. That's awesome. He probably loves that. We don't always get to choose.
As far as I know, I'm his favorite client.
I was going to say, sure sounds like it. And if he's not taking tips, he might be now.
I'm sure he's crying on the inside, but that's okay.
Sounds like you're definitely on the Christmas card list, if anything. So
yes,
keep doing what you're doing, bud. Keep it up. What was the deciding factor for you that made you want to work with Cloud Connections after all that?
So we've been looking into Zoom rooms for a while. Washington State University had some rooms and went to visit them. And the director we had at the time was pretty hot on that. Well, we had an instructor that had a need for one of those things, but it was in a laboratory, which is the worst room to put a Zoom room in. And it had to be done over Christmas break. So basically, I had a week to get this thing done. Had a couple of local people, they didn't want anything to do with it. They're way overpriced. And on a whim, I just happened to contact Brian Treats again. He goes, I think that we can probably do this. Let me check with my team. So next thing I know, I've got Aaron on the phone and they've got a quote. And based on my recommendation, what I had in the room, they had the right gear here. Brian was on site, had it done in 2 days, and again, made me look like a hero.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Those tight windows are funny. It can be do or die for everybody, right?
Oh yeah.
Obviously feels great on our part when we can deliver, but it's not always a given. Let's talk about that first project that we kicked off with you, Ken. When you think back on that, tell us about the design phase. How was that for you? Was that a little different?
So the design on the very first one was pretty rudimentary. It was a couple cameras and it was when we get to the second project with you guys that your expertise really came to bear.
Thank you. So yes, it's been a few projects now. I know that we have been involved in. Thank you. So it was the second and tertiary and following projects. Tell me more about that design element.
So what really impressed me is, again, we had a director that was pressing me to get some rooms done, and these were 4 nursing classrooms, and they're fairly large. So we've got 2 on one campus and 2 on a satellite campus. And it wasn't only that, but they had some existing gear that had to be wrecked out, so everything completely had to be redone. So Video conference gear sent, I think it was Brian and somebody else here. I think maybe Will, and spec'd out the system. They did all 4 rooms, and Aaron had me a diagram ready to go and some quotes. But if you've ever dealt with higher ed, you know that everything's at the last minute, and we had to get things signed. So less than 0 hour, I finally got Aaron the quotes, and he was able to get the equipment here on time. But one of the things he had to do was, I think he had to beg, borrow, steal a Nureva bar from somebody that was demoing one. So that's the above and beyond. I don't know how much that guy beat him up, but
He'll be all right. He'll be all
but
right.
they came in and got all 4 rooms at 2 different locations done in 4 days. And Kenny and Drew and that crew, man, they were amazing.
That's great.
And even at the end, it was everybody. I think Aaron was on there, and Cody was on there, and Will, and I think we had the whole company, I think, helping finish that project. So that's what really impressed me.
Yeah, thank you for that. You know, Cody, our owner, I mean, he wears a lot of hats. Aaron, VP of sales, he's got a lot of detail in our operational world, wears a lot of hats. So it is fun when we can kind of come together and push things over the end goal line there for our clients. So thank you for that endorsement. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. You know, we talked about the design phase. We utilized our services to implement a lot of these solutions for you guys. You mentioned the feedback that you had specifically with our integrations team. Any other feedback from your peers? How was it received? How easy has the solution been? Was it what you guys were expecting, or maybe a little bit different?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some other, what we call high flex rooms, and they're difficult to understand. The equipment's not great. It fails quite a bit. Every room that we've had so far has had great feedback, even from nursing, who can be a little bit needy. So, and they've done very well.
If you could recommend Cloud Connections to other higher ed organizations, what would that statement sound, look, and feel like? And, you know, what could they maybe expect working with a firm like ours?
Just their professionalism, top to bottom. I mean, Aaron's second to none. Their entire crew is really second to none. The equipment's great. Recommendations of the equipment is just great. So I really can't speak higher of the company.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, you've mentioned video conference gear. It's a DBA of ours, right? We've got a lot of hardware. People can find us kind of through that site initially. Cloud Connections offers, you know, wider breadth of our services, managed services, ongoing support, et cetera. And really that design, implementation, you know, blueprint review, things like that, they're a little bit different. So really appreciate the collaboration. The partnership's been extraordinary from our perspective as well, Ken. You know, we really appreciate your time today and look forward to our ongoing efforts with Walla Walla Community College. I didn't know if there was anything else you had for us before we signed off here today.
No, like I said, the whole crew has just been great. And, you know, we had a discussion about, because I've been doing some of the installations for our small classrooms, and I'd asked Aaron, hey, just put us together a package. That when I say it's a Walla Walla Community College package. And so when you quote that, I have that package. It's pretty much ready to go. I can just order it. And they've done that. And we've been real successful with that.
Oh, that's awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'll let you get back to making all the magic happen out there at Walla Walla. Okay. And really appreciate your time today, Ken. This has been wonderful. Thank you much for everything that you do. The endorsements go a long way here for us. And we look forward to continuing our partnership here with you.
Okay, anytime.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.